Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. So we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, the NFC Championship playoff game is between the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do I think is going to win this playoff game? Let's break it down. Now, the 49ers, they've had a fantastic season, going 15-4 so far. And Kyle Shanahan, he has a fantastic team on both sides of the ball. But not many people thought that the 49ers would be where they're at right now, especially when Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo both got hurt. But now rookie quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who's now Mr. Irrelevant, has had a fantastic start to his career in the NFL. And he hasn't lost a game in his NFL career so far, and he's led the 49ers down the stretch of this season into the playoffs. And you look at the 49ers, they had some key games this year. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 44-23. That was a tough loss, and that was before Brock Purdy was the quarterback. But then in Brock Purdy's first game taking over for Jimmy Garoppolo because he got hurt at the beginning of the game, they beat the Miami Dolphins 33-17, and that was a huge gain for Brock Purdy to build his confidence in his first game as a starter. Then in his second game, he beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers 35-7, and that was another fantastic game for Brock Purdy's confidence. And then they beat the Seattle Seahawks 41-23 in the NFL wild card, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys 19-12 in the division round. And you look at Brock Purdy. Coming into the season, he was not expected to be a major piece for the San Francisco 49ers, but he's come in and he has led the 49ers to where they're at right now. And in the playoffs so far, Brock Purdy's 37-59 for 546 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 24 rushing yards and a touchdown. And the key for Brock Purdy is he's made no mistakes. He has no interceptions. He hasn't turned the ball over. And that is key for Brock Purdy's confidence, and that's key for the 49ers overall because turnovers can be costly, especially in big games like this. And running back Christian McCaffrey had 25 attempts for 154 rushing yards and a touchdown, 39 receiving yards and a touchdown so far in the postseason. And he's such a dual threat running back. That's exactly why the 49ers brought him in from the Carolina Panthers. They wanted to make their running game better and to be able to help out the quarterback in the passing game. He's definitely been a big asset for Brock Purdy. And wide receiver Deebo Samuels has 10 receptions for 178 yards and a touchdown, 43 rushing yards, and tight end George Kittle has 7 receptions for 132 yards. Both are fantastic receivers for the 49ers. George Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and he's one of the most hilarious. And Deebo Samuel, he's just a warrior. He fights through tackles all the time, and he's just such a big body receiver. And on the defense side of the ball, linebacker Fred Warner's 15 total tackles, 12 solo tackles, and an interception. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw's 17 total tackles and 12 solo tackles. And defensive end Nick Bosa's 7 total tackles and 5 solo tackles. And Nick Bosa does not have a lot of stats because the opposing team's offensive line is doing everything they can to stop him. But Nick Bosa is a beast. And San Francisco's defense overall, including Fred Warner and all their other defensive players, they're just fantastic on that side of the ball. Their defense is number 1 in the NFL, and they've definitely helped the 49ers out this season and to help out the offense when they've had some struggles to win some games. But even now with Brock Purdy, the 49ers offense has been playing a lot better, and they're a great team on both sides of the ball. Now on the Eagles side, they're 15-3 to start this season, and Nick Sirianni, he's had a fantastic year as the Eagles head coach. This is the best year that the Eagles have had in a while, and by far quarterback Jalen Hurts has had his best season in the NFL for the Eagles, and the Eagles have had a great season. They've outperformed a lot of expectations. And for the Eagles' key games this year, they started out the season with a big 38-35 win at the Detroit Lions. That was a really big game to start out the season 1-0. Then they beat the Minnesota Vikings 24-7, and that was a big win as well. Then they beat the Dallas Cowboys 26-17 the first time that they played, and that was a big one to help boost their lead in the division. But then they lost at the Dallas Cowboys 40-34. That was a really tough loss, but that didn't prevent the Philadelphia Eagles from getting the number 1 seed. And then they beat the New York Giants 38-7 in the division round, and that was a huge win for the Philadelphia Eagles, especially considering the way the Giants played against the Vikings. A lot of people thought that game would be a lot closer, but the Eagles handled business. And overall, Jalen Hurts has had a great season for the Philadelphia Eagles, and in his one postseason game this year, he's 16-24 for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, 34 rushing yards, and a touchdown. He's a fantastic dual-threat quarterback. He can run, he can throw. But health is a key for him in this game. He has been banged up the last couple of weeks, and if he's not 100% in this game, that could definitely impact the result of this game. But if Jalen Hurts is close to 100%, then I'm sure he's going to play really well in this game. And running back Kenneth Gainwell has 12 attempts for 112 yards, a touchdown, 9 receiving yards. And running back Miles Sanders is 17 attempts for 90 yards in their game against the Giants. And both running backs complement each other very well for the Philadelphia Eagles. Usually Miles Sanders has many more yards, but Kenneth Gainwell has been coming around for the Eagles as well. And wide receiver Devontae Smith has 6 receptions receptions for 61 yards and a touchdown. He's one of the best young receivers in the NFL. And tight end Dallas Goedert's 5 receptions, 58 yards and a touchdown. He's a really solid tight end. And on the defense side of the ball, safety Marcus Epps has 5 total tackles and 3 solo tackles. And linebacker Hassan Reddick has 5 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, and 1.5 sacks. And the Philadelphia Eagles defense this year, it's not the best in the NFL like the 49ers, but their defense is top 5 in the NFL. And their defense has helped the Eagles win a lot of games this year. And on the offensive side of the ball, Jalen Hurts has definitely improved the Eagles offense overall with his legs and through the air. And overall, the Philadelphia Eagles have been really solid on both sides of the ball. So who do I think is going to win this NFC Championship game? This game is really tough to pick because it's at the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's going to really help them out. The home field advantage is going to be crazy. Except for the few brave 49ers fans that will be at the game, it's going to be a majority Eagles crowd. Jalen Hurts has had a fantastic season, but his health is going to be a priority in this game. If he is not close to 100%, then that could really help out the 49ers. But if he is close to 100% and he's giving it all he's got and he's playing really well with no mistakes, then the Eagles have a really good shot to win this game. Both teams' defenses are fantastic. Even though the 49ers have the best defense statistically in the NFL, the Eagles have a really good defense in their own right. So I think both defenses are going to slow down both teams' offenses. And whichever team wins the turnover battle is going to make a big difference as well. Quarterback Brock Purdy, he's made no mistakes for the 49ers in this postseason. He has no interceptions, and that is going to be key for him to continue that in this game. If Brock Purdy has no turnovers in this game, it's really going to help out the 49ers win this game. Kyle Shanahan, he's going to have to help out Brock Purdy by not putting him in precarious situations. They're going to have to be able to run the ball well with Christian McCaffrey, and that's going to be really tough to do against the Eagles defense. But if they can get in short yardage situations and keep Brock Purdy comfortable and not in situations where he can make mistakes, that's really going to help him out, because at least Jalen Hurts, he does have experience playing in the postseason last year. They did lose to the Tampa Bay Bucks in the playoff last year, but still, that experience for Jalen Hurts is going to help him over Brock Purdy, who does not really have NFL playoff experience except for the past 2 games. I think for both teams, the turnover battle is going to be interesting to see if either team makes mistakes. I think the home field advantage for the Eagles is really going to help them out in this game. I think the Eagles will play well on both sides of the ball, but the health of Jalen Hurts is going to be key. It's going to be very interesting to see how healthy he is. If quarterback Brock Purdy does not make mistakes and the 49ers defense can put pressure on Jalen Hurts and specifically have to make him use his legs, especially when he might not be 100%, I think that's really going to help out the 49ers. I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-28 in this NFC Championship game. I think the Eagles can win this game. Nick Sirianni's had a fantastic team all year. He's really helped build their defense up from the beginning of the season, because that was an issue for the Eagles the past few years, but they've added a lot of great defensive players throughout the season. That's definitely helped them win more games toward the end of the season, especially when Jalen Hurts hasn't been 100%. He's been banged up and even missed a game. So I think that the Eagles, their defense is really going to be able to put pressure on Brock Purdy and potentially force him to make mistakes. And I think that the 49ers defense, I think they're going to be able to slow down Jalen Hurts a good bit as well, because their defense is fantastic and they really force you to get the ball out quick. So Jalen Hurts is not going to be able to make mistakes, and he's going to have to be really healthy in this game. But as long as Brock Purdy does not make mistakes, I think the 49ers, they have so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. The Eagles do as well. But it's going to be very tough for the Eagles defense to stop Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. As long as Brock Purdy doesn't make mistakes, the 49ers have a really good shot to win this game. And like I said, the Eagles, they have their own talented players as well. Devontae Smith is a fantastic offensive player, and they have really solid running backs. So I think both teams are really talented, and I think this is going to be a really close game. But I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-28 in the NFC Championship game. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think the 49ers or Eagles are going to win this playoff game and why. And I will see you next time.